But with UConn and St. John's both playing last night, both winning, they're now a combined 39-6 overall, both in the top 20 of a variety of predictive metrics. It's good for the Big East. The Big East needs it needs this rivalry this season in particular. Needs these two teams to continue to do well. Our opening poll question here on the show live today is: what seed do you actually think UConn will wind up with? We did our bracketology stuff yesterday. GP and I both had UConn on the one line, which I think is borderline irrefutable at this stage. But I'm excited to be there. The game you could make the case it has equal parts urgency for both teams. Now they're going to play each other twice, and they will not finish the regular season with the rematch. Sometimes you get the leagues will kind of assemble and make sure that final weekend, typical rivalry games is the final one before the conference tournament. That is not the case there. UConn will host St. John's at the back end of this month. So they'll get both of their meetings, GP, here in February. But the first one being at the Garden. UConn going on the road. If it wants to be a 1 seed, right now it's sitting fine. If it continues to win, its resume metrics are going to be fine. I got a bone to pick with you, buddy. Okay, I got a bone to pick with you right now.
Pick if you want to pick.
To pick. So I'm on the phone last night with a source, and I'm talking, and I got some stuff on. Okay,
all right, Mr.
And all of a sudden what did I hear?
What'd you hear?
Did I hear Parrish just say my name on CBS Sports Network? I was like, hold on, I got to rewind this.
I was trying to bring my teammate along with me. I was trying to raise you up.
However, you said something along the lines of, and earlier today on the show,
yep.
He was down on UConn. I am not down on UConn. How dare you?
You're down on UConn.
1 seed. I have them as the lowest 1 seed, but I have them I am not down on the Huskies.
Okay.
I am not down on the Huskies. I heard that. I said, I'm going after his ass on the show tomorrow. I'm not down on the Huskies.
Okay. I want to, you are not the only person in my life who sometimes mishears what I say. All right. So
Did you not say he's down on the Huskies? Yes or no?
No. What I said was he's a little down on the Huskies relative to me. When I say I think UConn should be the second number 1 seed, and you say no, they only have 5 quadrant 1 wins, that by definition means you're a little down on UConn relative to me.
No, you're just a little. I think you're a little higher on UConn than I am. I think we should change the framing. That's all.
You are not the only person in my personal life who sometimes mishears what I say. Rather, it's early for me. All right.
We have reached that time of the season where I am concerned for my friend's health.
So I'm going to forgive you, but I will forgive you if you offer an apology. I said you're a little down on UConn relative to me, which I think by definition is true.
I would say you're a little high on UConn relative to me. That's the way that I would look at it personally.
Well, I would say if you're going to nitpick my words to this degree, I don't know that there's a path forward for us.
It did make me do a double take. I was like, all right, hold on. I literally stopped the phone call. I was like, give me 30 seconds here. I gotta rewind this. Let's see what I said there. I was like, okay. Anyway, I had to invoke that to start the show. Okay, to the point I was getting toward, taking way too long to get there, admittedly. For UConn, game on the road, keep pace, 1 seed. It does mean a lot there. Although I do think there is, there's clearly a scenario where, if UConn were to lose Friday, it can still wind up with a 1 seed. But the competition for the 1 lines right now stands to be pretty fierce, and that's a great thing for college basketball. For St. John's, the Johnnies at 17-5 have 1 loss since December 20th. It was the home loss against Providence, which looks more vexing by the day, frankly. The Johnnies here, they've got the games against UConn and then quad 1 opportunity. I'm looking at it right now, GP. I guess Providence might be quad 1 on the road. Marquette is not at this point. Seton Hall would be, but that might be it. So just in terms of positioning for seeding, UConn aiming for the 1, St. John's trying to get into that position where can we get to, a 4 or a 5 and be comfortable there. There's real stakes around it, in addition to just all the drama that comes with it, Early versus Patino and everything attached there. I'm excited for it. We'll obviously preview and pick the game on the Friday show, but by nature of both of them winning on Tuesday night, it sets up the best case scenario for the Big East. And it's a huge weekend of games overall, but UConn St. John's right there near the top of the list.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And the point I made last night on Inside College Basketball, in addition to how disrespectful you've been to the program that's won 2 of the past 3 national championships.
Yeah, just lies on the show. I mean, you can just lie anywhere on television these days in this country. Keep it up.
I mean, I'm taking my cues right from the top. So
that's how you're living your life now. Good to know.
No, it's not how I'm living my life. Okay, I want my jokes will only go so far. The point I made last night is I'm just excited to see both of these teams play against another good team because it hasn't happened much, and it's a Big East problem. Do you realize on Friday night that will be UConn's first game against a currently ranked team since it played Florida on December 9th, and it will be St. John's first game against a currently ranked team since it played Iowa State on November 24th. This is a byproduct of the Big East being the 5th rated conference in the country and only having 2 ranked teams, only 2 teams in the top 30 of the net. And here's the even worse part. More than half the league is outside of the top 75 of the net.
Yeah.
So UConn is 12-0 in the Big East. All right. But here's how the wins break down. 7 of them are quadrant 2. 4 of them are quadrant 3. 1 of them is quadrant 1. UConn had 4 quadrant 1 wins on December 9th. Has 5 now. And they're on an 18-game winning streak. That's given them just 1 quadrant 1 win. And that's the reason why I won't punish them, when it comes to bracketology stuff. This is a team that could, not would be, but could be undefeated at full strength. It's a team that's scheduled aggressively in the non-league, 25th rated non-league schedule, I believe. So they did everything they could do, and their conference has let them down. And so I'm not going to punish them for that. If you gave them the type of schedule that provided 10 quadrant 1 opportunities right now, they might have 10 quadrant 1 wins right now, or 9-1. This is an elite team that is being punished by some by the lack of quality in the Big East, and it speaks to where that conference is right now, that it is February 4th, and we are still waiting for UConn, which is excellent, to get a 6th quadrant 1 win. So that's the biggest thing for Friday night. Both of these teams will get to test themselves against a comparable opponent for the first time in a while. And I think it's probably bigger for St. John's because we know UConn's excellent. St. John's could be a little bit of all right, yeah, you went on a little 8-game winning streak. Congratulations. But what have you really done? Hey, you're the 2nd best team in the Big East. Congrats. That doesn't mean anything. It means you're a borderline top 25 team. That's what that means this season. So it's a bigger game on its home floor for the Red Storm, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Pick one or the other. It's bigger for St. John's, has the game on its home floor. St. John's probably sitting, I haven't really teased out the math that much. I'd say St. John's is probably like a 7 right now. Oh, look, it's snowing again. Is it snowing in New York City right now, GP? It's snowing in Connecticut.
I do not see snow outside of my window now, but it's all over the ground. It's everywhere in the streets. Big piles, big, giant, literally piles of ice and snow taller than me. I know that don't say much. That's kind of like bragging about being the 2nd best team in the Big East, but you get the point.
Yeah. It gets to do that like gray, sludge, brown snow, just the grossest stuff ever. Anyway, the snow will be there before the end of the podcast, I'm sure. A couple points on this as it pertains to UConn. I talked to Dan about this. He told me after the Florida game, I think it was, here was his exact quote. Speaking to the non-conference schedule, I think we talked about this on the show, but a refresher. He had 6 notable non-conference high major opponents, and 6 for the most part has been the standard going rate for a majority of high major teams. Some coaches will only do 5. Rare, but not unheard of that you'll have someone go 7. Hurley said, quote, "It's gone so well. Next year, we may go to 8 of these big games and 3 bye games because I hate the bye games. When I wake up the day of a bye game, I just want to go die. The anxiety, the fear that your team is the wrecking of a loss, or how just mad you get at your team when they underestimate a scrappy, loaded mid-major team. I hate those games." He also added, quote, "I would love to go to 18 conference games like some other leagues." And quote, "You see what the Big East is doing here. UConn's going to the tournament. St. John's is going to the tournament. Villanova projects as a single-digit seed right now. Willard has done a nice job in year 1. And then you have Seton Hall that is just determined, I think, to tightrope along the fence. We'll see if it gets in or it doesn't. And then that's it. unless some team comes out of nowhere and wins the automatic bid in the Big East tournament, we will have the least compelling Big East tournament I can ever remember, and a very healthy chance the league only sends 3 teams. Now, it only sent 3 teams a couple of years ago as well, but when that happened, you will recall Seton Hall, St. John's, Providence, Xavier? No. Well, there were like 3 teams knocking, I think it was St. John's, Seton Hall, Providence. They were all in they were 3 of the 6 teams that just missed out. So they had competitive teams knocking on the door, didn't get in. Not a good year for the Big East whatsoever. It is a firm 5th among the Power 5 leagues, and Connecticut and St. John's are left to kind of carry the flag for the league this season. And if UConn continues to win, obviously it's going to maintain a 1 seed status there. Its resume-based metrics are all in the top 4. Like it still is a 1 seed as of today, but yes, when it comes to quad 1 specifically, it is not going to have the same tally, the same opportunities as other teams that are vying for that 1 line, which is why I do think Friday, it might wind up meaning something in the end. Now, if it only loses at St. John's and then it runs the table and doesn't lose again, a 2-loss UConn team will be a 1 seed. That will happen. They're going to have enough quad 1 wins. The record will be so gaudy they're going to get a 1. But certainly notable that as we ready for this game on Friday, and it should be an amazing scene, an awesome environment. I'm very excited to be there. I hope we get a really, really good game. The building will have, a ton of St. John's fans, and plenty of UConn fans are going to infiltrate the territory, obviously, Store South and all of that. It's just unfortunate for the league this season that it hasn't had that many key games. It just hasn't. Like, UConn eviscerated Xavier, and all apologies to our buddy Fanta, but like the game wasn't worth watching at halftime. It was done. St. John's was on the road, got the win at DePaul, avoided getting tripped up, which was key there. But DePaul is better than it has been, but it's still outside the top 100. Like, hasn't been able to get rolling there. We know Marquette's a disappointment. Xavier's just in year 1 under Richard. We get all that. Georgetown, disappointment. Providence, extreme hot seat, like run amok. They are expecting a coaching change there because they have been a huge letdown after a big NIL year. Creighton's been hasn't been good. Butler still can't bump up there. So yeah, not good times in the Big East. You have 2 really good teams, 2 big programs, 2 famous coaches. Arguably, I'd say the two coaches that are the 2 faces of the sport from a coaching perspective. You could make that case, but there's just not enough other stuff there. And so I'll take any single good game you can give me. Hopefully, UConn and St. John's comes through in a big way on Friday night.